Dana White just dropped some massive news literally minutes ago as I record this video. Dustin Poirier will be fighting Benoit Saint-Denis as the co-main event for 5 rounds at UFC 299, and I have a lot to talk about in this fight, but I also had a lot to talk about in the other fight that he announced, which was Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan, which I made a separate video for, which you can find on my channel. For this one though, Poirier has done something that I didn't expect him to do, and I'm very, very happy to see it. Poirier is fighting a young up-and-coming contender. For a while, Poirier's been fighting the big names of the sport. I mean, of course, he took the Conor McGregor fight, then he fought Oliveira, but then it seemed like after that, he just wasn't going to fight a young, hungry up-and-comer. Gaethje did it when he took on Rafael Fiziev, and then Poirier seemed a little bit more hesitant on doing it and more interested in fighting Chandler and Gaethje, because for a while, these three just fought against each other, and it kind of ended up with Oliveira having a pretty good legacy because he defended his belt a couple of times. But anyway, Poirier is going to be taking on Benoit Saint-Denis, and there is a lot on the line for Dustin Poirier here because Benoit Saint-Denis, I believe, is ranked number 12 at the UFC 155-pound division. But more importantly than that, in the grand scheme of things, if this is going to be UFC 299, and you can imagine Poirier versus Benoit on this one as the co-main for 5 rounds, imagine what UFC 300 is going to look like. I feel like Joe's cooking. I feel like Matchmaker Joe is in the kitchen right now, and he is making a really, really good UFC 300 card. So I am going to put a bit more faith in the UFC and a bit more faith back in Joe. I mean, I never doubted Joe. I just doubted everyone else. But anyway, because I was getting nervous for a second. But if this is going to be 299, 300 is going to be really good because they're going to have to put off something pretty special to top this massive card. Like, this is huge. I mean, what's this gonna do? Is this gonna knock Kevin Holland versus Michael Page down to the prelims, or are they gonna do a 6-fight main card? I mean, I hope they do a 6 or 7-fight main card for 300, but that's a different video for a different day. Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis is announced, and this is a really good fight. And I feel like what makes it a really, really good fight is I think a lot of people are gonna pick Dustin Poirier, but I think a lot of people are gonna pick Benoit Saint-Denis as well. I feel like there's a good reason to pick either. The first and main reason is Benoit Saint-Denis for picking him right now, as he is looking completely unstoppable, and it's not like he's fighting nobody. You know, he just beat Matt Frivola in 90 seconds. No one does that. Beat Thiago Moises, who's a very respectable guy, borderline top 15 guy, top 15 on a good day for sure. Ismail Bonfim, who we thought, and especially me, thought was going to be a bit better. Benoit Saint-Denis just kind of steamrolled through him, finished him in the first round, looked really good. And he fought all of these guys in about 4 months, in about 4.5 months. He beat Frivola, Moises, and Bonfim. What a year of 2023, and what a 6-month span, I guess you could say, for Benoit. Because now in that 6 months, including the fight with Bonfim, he's got a huge fight, the biggest fight of his career on the biggest card he's ever been on, against Dustin Poirier. This is huge. This is absolutely massive, and as I said, I just didn't expect to see Dustin Poirier take on a young up-and-coming guy, because Gaethje did it when he took on Fiziev. I just thought Poirier was gonna try and fight Gaethje again, or I don't even know what I was expecting of Poirier. I even actually expected maybe it would be Poirier versus Gamrot, but at the moment everyone's booked, and you know, he's trying to get that Nate Diaz fight potentially. That didn't happen. So here we are. Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis. I feel like this is fantastic matchmaking. It's not really a fight that I would have thought of just because Benoit Saint-Denis isn't very high up the rankings, but you can't say that he hasn't earned an opportunity because of the run that he's been on. He's on an absolute tear right now, and the crazy thing about this fight as well is it's 5 rounds. That might not even matter though, because at the end of the day, all 13 of Benoit Saint-Denis' wins have come by finish, most of them in the first round. 7 out of 13 in the first round. So yeah, most of them have been in the first round. So incredible stuff from Benoit. If he could finish Poirier, I'd be very impressed. Now, I do know that Poirier has been finished in most of his losses. He's been KO'd 3 times. He's been submitted 3 times. So it's not like we can say that Poirier's got this iron chin that we've never seen touched before, like, I guess, Max Holloway, for example. But if he was able to finish Dustin Poirier, that would be a massive statement. If he finishes Poirier, he's 1 fight away from the title shot. Absolutely no questions asked. If he beats Poirier, he probably fights the loser of Oliveira Tsarukyan, which is going to be a massive fight in its own right. Or maybe someone like Rafael Fiziev, maybe Gamrot, or something like that. There's a lot going on. 155 is the best weight class in the UFC. I don't know why I'm just leaning up against my dresser like that, but Man, I'm hyped. I'm really excited for this fight. I'm really excited for this card. The breakdown for the fight, I guess, would be Poirier. We know he's got really good boxing. He's got a little bit of wrestling and grappling in the back pocket, but for the most part, he wants to strike with you. And I think it wouldn't be far-fetched to say that he's going to be the better striker in this matchup, although BSD has shown to have good striking. The way that Benoit is going to want to, and in my opinion, if Benoit is going to win this fight, he probably has to take it down to the ground. I feel like that's his best chance at victory. He's going to have to get that wrestling going. He's going to have to try and get Dustin down. But at the end of the day, Dustin's got good takedown defense. He can keep the fight on the feet. He can keep it where he wanted it. But he did get KO'd in his last fight. It was a pretty bad KO, one of the KOs of the year. He was laid out by the head kick from Justin Gaethje. I mean, I didn't see it coming. I didn't see Justin Gaethje winning by head kick KO coming whatsoever. Before that, he had a pretty scrappy fight, pretty competitive fight though against Michael Chandler, where Michael Chandler was cheating a lot. But he got there, got the submission in the end. Lost to Charlie Olives, which was a pretty good fight. I guess Charles Oliveira, though, may have laid out the blueprint for Benoit, as Charlie was able to get him down, was able to control him for a round, was able to get his back and then submit him. That was a standing rear naked, I believe. So, yeah, let me know what you think. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are going to pick Benoit. This is a fight I'm going to have to think about before I give my early prediction, because for the Charles Oliveira-Sarukian fight, I'm also kind of the same, but I'm leaning Charles. But with this one, I just don't know. I just don't know. 5 rounds as well. You got to think about that, because Poirier's got the experience going the distance. You know, he has gone the distance 7 times. He's been in 5-round fights before. Benoit Saint-Denis has only been the distance once, and that was just not a good experience. That wasn't a fight that goes the distance that's competitive. Who knows who's going to win, or you're winning. He got beaten on for 3 rounds up a weight class though, and Zaleski, I guess, is pretty good. He just fought to a draw with Renat, so who knows, man, who knows. But yeah, he's only got 1 fight where he went the distance, but that wasn't a good fight for him, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see, can Benoit go 5 rounds? He probably can. I'm sure he probably trains. I mean, these guys will be training for like 8-round fights, you know what I mean? So they've got the cardio to go the distance. But yeah, man, like we've seen, like against Dan Hooker, I guess would be a good example of it. Poirier in a war can push the pace for 5 rounds, because it was Dan Hooker that went out there, had the success in rounds 1 and 2, but then Poirier poured it on round 3, 4, and 5, and just kind of dominated the fight towards the end of it. So we know that Poirier can dig deep for 5 rounds, but can Benoit Saint-Denis? We've never seen him in a 5-round fight in the UFC. We've never seen him in a We've never really seen him go the distance. We've seen him go the distance once, but it was years ago. He's improved a lot since then. It wasn't even at his natural weight class. There's a lot to say about this one here. I feel like, to give you guys a prediction right now that very likely will change, I was going to say I might lean Poirier, but I don't know if I can trust Poirier anymore. I might... I'm going to lean Poirier, because I think he can keep the fight on the feet. But before I close out the video, I might... Okay, this is a long video. Sorry, guys. It's 8 minutes. I'm going to lean Poirier for now, but I'm prepared to change my pick for sure. UFC 299, let's look at it. It's going to be Poirier, Benoit Saint-Denis. Let's see if Tapology's added it yet by the time that I'm recording. Nope. Burns, Madalena, banger. Blades, Almeida, probably won't be the best fight, but very highly ranked heavyweights. Jan Song Yadong, massive fight, banger. Holland Page, fun fight. Page's first fight in the UFC. What are people picking? Are people picking Page in that one? 41% on Page. I'm on Michael Page. I'm prepared to be wrong though, and I probably will be. I'll be honest. But there we go. That's an early prediction for this. I'm going to have to do an early prediction for this card. It's not even finished. They've only got 11 fights announced. To be fair, a lot of these prelims aren't that great, but you've got Mateus Gamrot versus RDA. I mean, this is a good card. Yeah, this is a good card. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. I've got quite a bit going on soon. I'm going to be releasing music, which I guess is a little bit of a news drop. I used to make music a few years ago when I was in school, and then I just kind of stopped. But now I'm back. So here we go. I'm going to be dropping some music. It's going to be lo-fi, though. It's not going to be like me rapping or anything. When I made music, I used to make beats. You know, I used to produce for artists, and quite a few of my beats were used in songs, and I'm just going to make beats, just lo-fi beats, because at the moment when I'm studying, obviously I had an exam today, when I'm studying, I'm listening to these lo-fi beats, and I'm like, oh, I can make this, you know? So yeah, I'm going to start dropping beats on Spotify and all that. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys the next one.